What's up, everybody? This is Michael, and I'm joined by Rob in Middleburg, Florida. What's going on, Rob?
Good evening. What a great night, man. Florida night, beautiful. It's probably like 74, 73 degrees out here. Hardly any humidity right
Oh,
now. It's
well,
amazing down here in Florida, man. You got to figure it out.
no humidity. Oh, that must be
Right
nice
now,
right now.
got
Well,
some early rains, man.
humidity is not a cornhole player's friend, man. I'll tell you that right now. Can't stand it.
Isn't that
So, look,
true?
man. Here we go. Another episode of the Sticky Side. A lot of cornhole went on this past weekend, so kind of wanted to cover a lot of that. I played in a major, my first major in 3 years, up in Manassas,
Wow.
Virginia, and got to say, man, not too much a fan of Manassas, Virginia. But it's kind of my fault, I guess. I stayed in Old Town Manassas in like this Roach Motel. It was disgusting, but anyway, I pinch pennies when I travel. Uh, I had a good time there. Got to see a lot of old faces, some new faces, met a lot of new players. And I know the ACL had their first. Was this their first Open or was it their second Open?
Yeah, the one up there, I guess it was in Iowa, right?
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. Um,
Cedar City or some.
yeah, I
But yeah, it
guess so.
was the first open of the season. I mean, the season just opened October 1st. So
Yeah,
the entire season for the American Cornhole League just opened October 1st. So they had their first open up there. I think Tier 1 doubles champions are ACL pros Ryan Windsor and Isidro Herrera. And I don't know who won singles, but when I saw that Matt Guy threw like an 11 point something PPR and he went 11-1, I have to assume that he was the singles champion
well,
in Tier 1.
don't worry, Rob. I'm there with all the facts, baby. I got you.
We got some results. I like it.
um, I thought I screenshot Matt's post today, but it was something along the lines of Matt did win it. He played. Oh my God, what's that kid's name? I can't. Jay Rubin. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Jay Rubin and Matt Guy were in the finals. And, I'm friends with Jay on Facebook. I've never met him personally, but he does post a lot of like live videos of him throwing out in the driveway or
Absolutely.
whatnot or on the sidewalk. And man, this guy, he makes bags, man. He makes bags in winds that are blowing like 30 miles per hour. Trick shot type stuff, man. Like he's definitely an elite player, and uh, to see him struggle against Matt Guy like that was kind of like, wow. Matt made, I want to say it was 650, 660 some bags in the tournament out of 740. I could be wrong with those numbers. I do know Matt has it
I think it
posted.
was 656 or 748. I think that's exactly what the numbers
I,
were.
I'm going to look up Matt's post because I don't want to misquote it. It's
Right.
pretty unreal, to be honest with you. So he made 648 bags in the hole out of
Wow.
736.
Okay.
That's 88% of the bags you threw went in the hole in a hole tournament. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, bro. Uh, if
What was that
there,
PPR? So PPR stands for points per round. What it was over 11.
it was 11.3 at one point. I was listening to the commentator
Can you
during the
imagine that you can? Yeah.
I was listening to the commentary during their match, and I believe he said 11.6 or 11.3. Still
I
insane,
mean,
bro. Because you
12 is
can't,
all you can get.
yeah, you can't score 11. There's no way to score 11
Yeah.
points in a frame of cornhole.
Right.
So that is
All right.
sick. He's a robot.
Yeah, that's
He's a
Matt
machine.
Guy. He's a guy. He's just a guy.
Well, clearly, that's why I stand by my pick as one of the faces that go on the Mount Rushmore cornhole. But
Yeah, I noticed. I went and perused that post on the sticky side of the Mount Rushmore of cornhole. I would like to say it's because we don't have anybody looking at the page, but we got over 500 people now that are friends with the page on Facebook, and we still can't get one comment or one answer. We may have to repost that.
Well, I think people are kind of weary about answering that type of question because they don't want to hurt feelings, maybe, or maybe they feel it would start too much drama or something. I don't know. But I'm not scared to answer it. I just can't come up
Yeah,
with my fourth yet.
can't figure out number 4. I got you.
Yeah.
So Matt won singles. I told you that it was ACL Pro, Ryan, and Isidro. You don't really need to say their last names. When you say Ryan and Isidro, you know who that is usually. But that's one of their first wins. So starting off the ACL season, both of them with max points, Ryan and Isidro and Matt Guy. Matt Guy in singles and Ryan and Isidro in doubles. But that's pretty dang cool. You go there and the opens are some of the things that are really neat because in the pro division at a national or anywhere else, you're not going to be able to play against pros on an everyday basis. But the Open is the place where anybody can play and anybody can win.
Yeah.
And the good part about an Open is everybody comes in at the same level, and you do what they call rounders. I'm sure you may have heard of that before, but they do rounders. And what rounders does is it seeds you in your doubles tournament where you're going to play. So you could come in as a brand new player and just get lucky and go 6-0, and next thing you know, you're in tier 1 playing against all of the people who should be in tier 1, because you probably didn't think you were going to be a tier 1 player when you walked up that day, but you can end up there just by how you played through that rounders tournament.
Yeah.
They did a little format change to the Open this year with the they're not forcing you to play in that tier for singles anymore. They're allowing you to be in the tier in which division you're in. So now an ACL Pro can't go there and qualify for tier 3. They can qualify for tier 3 in doubles, but then they will be moved back up to tier 1 to play out their singles at an Open.
That makes sense. I mean, play your skill level,
Yeah.
Nobody likes a sandbagger.
Well, doubles is how you seed. You know what I mean? Well, the other great thing about an Open is the only 2 divisions or the only 2 tiers that get paid are tier 1 and tier 2.
Mm-hmm.
So tier 3 or tier 4 will just get prizes and things along that nature. So sandbagging will do you absolutely no good.
Yeah. And what people, for people out there that don't know what rounders means, rounders is basically round robin, right? Or just sort of like a round robin, a tournament where you play everyone.
Well, I think the reason that they call it rounders is because it's a little bit unique. So in the beginning, anybody can play anybody, very random.
Mm.
But right after your first game where half the people win and half the people lose, that becomes 2 new pools. So now all the 1-0s will play against one another, and all the 0-1s will play against one another. And again, it'll break up into more pools because there's going to be 1-1s, 0-2s, and 2-0s. And then all those will play against each other. So rounders is, yes, round robin, but you end up playing somebody who should be somewhere near the same skill level or, will they'll be in the same situation as you that day. So, you're not gonna get an opportunity if you're 0-4. You're not going to get an opportunity to knock off somebody that's 4-0. You're going to have to play against the rest of the 0-4s.
Gotcha.
So it ends up giving you one. Pretty much, through rounders you can get 1 or 2 undefeated teams, depending on how many rounds you do, and how many teams you have. So, but it ends up getting right on down to just a couple of teams that are, tier 1 worthy, basically, because they just kept on winning. So. Well, that's why they do it that way.
So, like we were saying, this was the first Open for the ACL's 2021-2022 season. This was probably the 5th major for the ACO this season so far. I don't know. I think it was probably at least the third or the 4th. They actually had 2 at the same time this weekend. I didn't follow. Really? I didn't follow the one in Palm Beach that close. I honestly couldn't tell you who won. And here's one of my gripes about both leagues. both organizations. Can we update the websites with like tournament finishes? Don't make
quickly.
it so hard to find. There needs to be a tab or something where you can click on it for like tournament results. I mean, if they're posted on Facebook, you end up having to scroll through a whole wall to find them. And, I guess I'm just being picky because when you do a show like this, you want the information like right now and then. So you've got it in front of you so you don't misquote or, the standings. You know who finished where. But, like, I can't find anything for the ACO as far as, like, their Palm Beach finishes, except for, like, some pictures holding trophies. And I do have, like, the Scoreholio screenshot from when I was there, so I do know the finishings there. I did see the ACLs somewhere on their Facebook page, but now it's gone. I can't find it again. But anyway,
that's another whole wall you got to scroll through. I guess if you knew the individual event ID for each of the events, you could figure that out yourself. But that would be a research team. So, in case anybody out there is wondering, we don't really have a research team. We're kind of we're put together just like this. Mike is the absolute incredible producer, and I am the star. I mean, the co-star.
Comic relief, more like it. Yes.
But yeah, it's so I think that we could find it with individual event IDs. We could go figure it out, but it's crazy. I mean, really, Mike, this is our first kind of weekend results show. So it was you sprung it on as an idea last night, and I thought, what the hell? Let's get on there and at least loosely talk about it. I can talk very eloquently about the regional that I ran here in Jacksonville. It was the ACL Regional for Jacksonville for the month of October, and we had some super talent down here. Reigning advanced world champion Alex Rawls came down, and he lives real close, so he was able to come through in doubles and singles in the advanced division with double dips in both divisions. So that's pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie, but it's kind of crazy that he actually lost the game. So in the advanced singles, he actually double dipped a very local kid's been playing for less than a year. His name is Fisher Hamilton. He's a 16-year-old from Fleming Island, goes to Fleming Island High School. And this kid, he has a really nice RV barn where he can just throw for hours upon hours. And that's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
He's got every single shot. He's an advanced player, but he's actually kind of sponsored by a brand new company called Swag Bags out of South Florida. Scott Schultz, I believe, is the owner of that company. And the bag that he produced that Fisher likes to throw is called the Emerald, and it's got a carpet on one side and a nice polyester weave on the slick side. And I'll tell you what, these new kids in their roll shots, and Fisher has every shot. He's got a great airmail. He's got a great – I mean, he beat Alex coming through the bracket, so that tells you what kind of shots this kid has.
Oh, let's talk about kids. All right, so I'm in Manassas. I'm at the major there for the ACO, and the ACO's big dogs were there. Austin Cameron and Isaac Hurt. So I guess right now they're pretty much like top five. Maybe Austin's already won like 2 majors, I think. But I'm going to tell you, man, it was the Austin and Isaac show. I believe Austin went all the way driver's seat in singles. He ended up playing Isaac in the final, which I think a lot of people knew that was going to be the outcome. And these guys, man, the revolution of the kids taking over cornhole is just ridiculous right now. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I guess when all you have to do is your homework and then come home from school and throw the boards out, you don't have any kind of responsibilities, you can be that good just because you practice all the time. I thought it was funny. I saw Scott Gore post on Facebook yesterday about how the Twin Terrors won their regionals, And then the next day, I think he said they threw bags all day Saturday. Sunday morning, first thing they say is, "Hey, can you put the boards out for us, Dad?" Right back to practice. But there's a lot of talk between.
It's crazy, and
It is. There's a lot of talent in both organizations. There's a lot of talk about all the good throwers are in the ACL, all the bad throwers or second-tier throwers are in the ACO. But after seeing some of the players in the ACO this weekend, man, I got to tell you, they're making bags. I mean, they're making airmails. They're making four-baggers. I mean, there are great players in the ACO that can compete with some of these ACL guys anytime. I just think,
and I feel that it's going to continue to be that way, though.
Yeah. I made it out of their pool play because ACO does pool play. They split up into like 8-person mini tournaments, and if you win 2 in a row, you get out and you go to the main bracket. I got out 1-2. My first game, I won. It was a close one, 21 to like 14, 15, something like that. But the people that eliminated me finished third and tied for 7th. So I lost to some good players.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
I choked the rest of the day, though. Doubles, I might as well have been throwing left-handed. Kind of embarrassing, actually, but yeah. It was they got some real good players over there, man. And I don't see the ACO changing because from the players I talked to there, they like it the way it is. Everybody, all the finishers are getting paid money. There's like 5 different events. They've got co-ed doubles. They've got women's, seniors, juniors. They've got a blind draw crew cup. They've got singles and doubles. And then they got this dice game. So that's 8 events. They're paying out. And not only are they paying out, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a payout. They're also giving out, trophies, little mini cornhole boards, just like the ACL's giving out. And as long as the ACO is doing that, people are happy with it, man. I mean, God, there was over 100 in singles in Manassas, 300 in Florida. So, I mean, that's 400 players in a weekend. Yeah, I think the ACO's business model is doing them justice right now, and they're not going to get away from it. They got a lot of fans over there.
So what's the truth of the matter, really? You just said that there's great players over there, and the truth of the matter is the kids, no matter where they play, right? The kids are going to play in their backyard and they're going to practice. Mm-hmm. So with this, I call it Toddler Nation Revolution. With this Toddler Nation Revolution, these kids are going to continue to play. And if you're not signed as a pro or you're not on the PDC, you're free to play wherever you want to play. If you go over there and all of a sudden you win 2 or 3 majors, you're in the running for something pretty big over there. So I can imagine that you'd want to be there and play. But at the same time, you can come right over here, all your regionals. You can go to the opens. You can make runs here in this league as well. So it's open for there to be great players everywhere. And when there's an opportunity to play and you don't have to go to Iowa, you can stay near Virginia. Why wouldn't you? If you can play in anywhere. And when it is just about making bags, and to you, it doesn't really matter if you make $180. Why not just go and play, especially if you're under 18, you're staying at home, and mom and dad support you as much as they do. They get you they drive you 2 hours to go play in Virginia, and you go do well, and everybody gets to go to Applebee's on a date night, some Bourbon Street chicken, and just, what I'm saying? Why not?
I mean, if you're getting the ACL payout, I hope you're not going to Applebee's. That's more like, fancy steakhouse. Maybe ACO, you go to Applebee's.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Somebody who did well in Manassas. Yeah. Someone who did well in Manassas.
Yeah. Well,
but you said something. You said you don't see the ACO changing. But how would Mike Bird want to see the ACO change?
How would I want to see it change?
What do you see? Where do you see them needing to change? Because you mentioned, I don't see them changing. But where do you see them needing to change for you to make the statement that you don't see them changing? Is all I'm asking, just from you. You know what I mean?
Like I don't see them trying to like go mainstream like ACL is. You know, maybe they have a good business model right now with what they're doing as far as getting all these players to come to their events, you know, for these majors and paying out all these places and making the players happy. Because a big gripe with the ACO back 3, 4, 5 years ago was no payouts. You know, remember Matt
Right.
Guy talked about it on the show when he played James Baldwin. First place was what, like $10,000, and second place got
10
nothing.
grand.
Got nothing
Pat on the back.
for playing in the King of Cornhole championship. So you know, a lot of players were ill in that, and didn't take too kindly to winning stuff. Like I won a major and I didn't get a payout. I got a damn jersey. Okay, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it looks like that's all.
And it just came in a couple weeks ago, right? That's the one you just put up, the brand new one.
I did get it like 4 months after the event, but yeah, I didn't get a payout. I was kind of disappointed on that. I didn't even get a trophy. I'd rather have a trophy than have a jersey, honestly. I mean, that's just my 2 cents. But it looks like Frank Gears and the ACO, they're starting to make the players happy, and he's getting his own player base. And he's still got some loyal COs that have been there since. I mean, I know like Junior and Tammy and Paula and Jack, the Stevens couple, and the Williamses. You know, they're still there. They were there this weekend. And as long as he's got people that are, you know, still running the events the way they should be, like Chris Clark and April,
Ryan.
they do a great job running events with Scorholio. And I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of that Scorholio too. I mean, that is legit. I mean, ACL's got a pretty good program too, but I mean, Scorholio, it runs tournaments by itself once you put all the information in. But yeah.
Wow, so does the ACL. I mean, we just ran a regional. You click it on auto assign and it's over.
Yeah.
Same thing. And then you can run your PPR all day long. And, you know, the bag tracker is pretty amazing. It's very powerful. The ACL software is very powerful, but you know, as things grow, you get this, that, and the other. One thing that I don't really like about Scorholio is that it gives you 64 is your cap of number of players in the tournament. So it caps off at 64, and you got to make a whole new bracket. Where the ACL goes all the way to 256. So to me, that it just depends on what you're looking for. And I'm not a hater of Scorholio. I'm a lover of the ACL. So
I got
the
you,
ACL
man.
software. So
don't worry, Rob. I'm not trying to get you to say anything bad about the ACL.
I mean, you know,
I'm not going to say anything bad.
I mean, you're never going to get me to lie. You're never going to get me to lie. So if there's something that comes up that
yeah, and so, you know, the ACO, they've got their fan base, but, you know, every year they're going to have players that are at the top, and they're going to see all the ACO players playing on ESPN, and they're going to get that bug and say, hey, how do I compete against these guys? And we just had a prime example of that this weekend. You know, Tanner Halbert, this was his first Open. He was one of the top players in the ACO for the past few years. Like, I don't know, he's been playing for the ACO for at least 5 years, I think, right? He was in, I know when I was in, and a couple of years before I retired, but Tanner, man, he made a good run. You know, he proved that ACO players can hang. You know, his rookie season, I hate to say rookie because he's been playing forever, but I do know he beat Ryan Windsor in a close match that came down to the end. I don't know what place Tanner finished in, but I'm pretty sure it was I don't know. I'm going to have to look. I want to say it was top 10, but he had a good finish, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, you were talking about you were talking about the way that, you know, I asked you about how you'd see them change and see these players move and why do they move, and you know they started that what was that thing called that they did over Memorial Day? Some sort of shootout that they did down in Dollywood. They had a referee on the court, and they did it on TV.
A referee?
The
Damn.
winner got, yeah. They had a Chris Clark, your buddy, was in stripes, reffing, looking for foot fouls and you know, just,
Are you
he was a
kidding
ref.
me?
He was legitimizing. I'm not. I don't know if he had a flag to throw or a whistle to blow, but he was definitely a referee, and they
He
were
had on.
legitimizing it as more of a sport.
Mhm.
Stripes. You haven't seen any of that? I'm
Mm-mm.
surprised you haven't seen any of that.
No, but I need to. I need to see that.
And Tanner won that. Yeah, Tanner actually won that down there or up there in Dollywood, and got a check for $20,000. He told me, and that was supposed to be his welcome to the pro division in the ACO, and they went back to bags provided for that tournament. So it was pretty cool. I talked to him right after he won in Atlanta. I guess it was a couple months, Memorial Day, 4th of July kind of. Talked to him 4th of July in Atlanta, Georgia, when he did come to an open to play there. And he was just telling me, that this is that's what I was telling you before about Valley Sports. And supposedly Frank was going to go into talks with them about being able to broadcast at least that series. And they were going to do that maybe 3 or 4 times a season, give that 20,000 to the winner of whatever. And they were going to do their pro division. They had like 16 pros from that, the way they finished. Randall Garrison, you know who he is, from Alabama. He was one of the guys. Of course, Caleb. You keep calling him. Is his name Isaac Caleb Hurt or something?
No.
I've always heard him called Caleb.
They're brothers.
Or is there 2 of them?
Yeah,
okay.
It's 2.
So
it's they're brothers. Caleb wasn't there this weekend. Isaac, his I believe younger brother, was there. He's a great player too, man. I mean, he finished 2nd. So.
Yeah. And then Austin, just like you said, all the usual, and Zockline, Zockline's made that exodus with Tanner too. So, Zockline has been an ACO guy for what? Long as you can remember, long as I can remember. So
yeah, it's
crazy to see these guys move. And what are they moving for? Are they moving for money? What are they moving for? Are they moving because they think the competition is better over there? Are they moving for the money? Are they moving? There's so many different answers that you can get from these people, but I don't think anybody really would want to burn a bridge and say, oh, Frank did this to me, or, but they all have their own answers.
Would you rather play for the Sioux City Corn Dogs or the Los Angeles Dodgers?
Right.
I mean, that's basically what it comes down to.
Is that how you see it?
That's how I see it.
When you're looking across the cornhole world, is that how you see it? Because it's important. I don't know how people see it all the time. I don't know that they're looking at the ACO as this, especially those 300 players that were down in, where did you say it was, down in Panama City or wherever?
Panama Beach or something like that.
Somewhere down there.
Yeah.
And whatever. But I don't think they see walking into that thing the way they set up those majors. I don't think they see the Sioux City Corn Dogs. I think they think they're walking into the Los Angeles Dodgers when they walk in there. I mean, 300 people, and the thud is happening everywhere around you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, I wonder though. I do wonder what
the thud,
because I've been an ACL guy for 5 years now.
Yeah. So. Well, the thud is happening all around you, but let me tell you what's not there. ESPN, CBS, or NBC, and all these big sponsors like Johnsonville and Bush Beans. Look, you got it over your shoulder right now. Bush is best. Yeah. Like, I haven't seen Bush's Beans logo so much, man, in my life. I mean, unless I go to Food Line and I see it on the shelf. I've seen Bush's Beans more in a year than I have in my whole life. And I know it. It's stuck in my head now. I know what that logo is. I know what Johnsonville is, and so it's working,
Right. Can't spell sausage without U.S.
It is pretty good, man. I do like the bratwurst. And now they got this thing called, was it like bacon sausage? It's sausage sliced like bacon.
Oh yeah.
I saw the commercial.
Oh,
I haven't tried it yet.
Good. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to have a cornhole player in a commercial with it. Johnsonville needs to start doing that. You would be a good candidate for that, Rob, since you're a pro and everything. Go for it.
I really like those new Johnsonville commercials where they talk to the animals. And where'd you learn to talk to animals? Books.
Oh. So what we got coming up on the podcast in the future, man? I know you booked a guest or two, right?
Yeah, I got. So we got. I think it's on the 18th. Like I said, I wanted to make sure that you sent him his reminder, his Google reminder, because Trey's a busy man. We're gonna have Trey Ryder on, so that's gonna be fun. Hopefully, he can preview the season with us. You know, the American Cornhole League they got some big things coming. I don't know if you saw that post about teams. Did you see that? Or maybe that was only for the pros, but I was telling you a little bit about it. So maybe it was just for the pros. Maybe I better be quiet.
Damn.
So
exclusive right here on
sort of cool
Side.
Stuff coming for that. I'm going to leave it exclusive. I'm going to keep it inside here in the voice box. And then I also booked Jay Rubin, I think maybe for the 25th or the 26th. I have to look at that, but I think I sent that to you too. So you were talking about Jay a little bit earlier, and I'm pretty good friends with Jay since he's come into the league, and we talk a lot. We talk a lot about the game and about how the game, the next level of the game, the other side of the game, the back side of the game. While you're on the street, you know, the image you have outside the game. He and I have talked about that quite a bit. So Jay's going to be a good dude to have on. Maybe he'll send you some of his TikTok and Facebook stuff so you can show some of his shots. And
he doesn't have to send it because I see it every time I log on to my Facebook. It's right there.
Yeah, but you don't save it though. You don't save it.
No. I don't save it. I mean, there's enough of it every time. I mean,
yeah.
Sure. I find myself watching people's cornhole live videos. You know, one day maybe I'll watch my own. I got such a bad throw, man. You know what? It's like a light switch, bro. The game of cornhole, it's like a light switch. Like one game you can throw lights out. You're like a robot. It's like your whole body moves in one motion. It's all mechanical. The next game, you lose it. Like you're short arming your throw. Your release of the bag is off, and then it gets in your head, and then you're like screwed. Kind of like I was this weekend.
I was in Erie, Pennsylvania. I was in Erie, Pennsylvania Open last year. I think it might have been right before my first stroke. And in one game, I threw a perfect game. 5 rounds with 5 4-pointers is pretty freaking amazing.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
You know, it was a doubles match. And I threw a perfect game. My partner was like, he was just a young kid. He was a 15-year-old kid that I brought up from down here. One of them kids, you know. Yeah. He was just learning the game, and he wanted to go to an open. So April and I said, "Come on with us." You know, we're going, and I threw a perfect game, and he just, he felt so bad. I'm like, "Well, don't worry about it, man. We won. It's okay." But he's like, "But you threw perfect." I said, "Don't worry. I can't store them. That's what's the worst thing about that."
Did he ask you to sign his bags?
And then the next game, no, he gets to see me every week, so he doesn't. He's growing up in the game.
Friends, does he tell all his friends? Like, does he show them your videos and say, "I know this guy. I know him. I got his phone number in my phone too."
I don't have videos. Usually, that's probably what he might.
Yeah.
But he knows Noah too, so.
All right, bro. Hey, look, so we're going to cut this one short. And don't forget, we got Frank Milan Part 2 coming up. I hope y'all are enjoying the Frank Milan Part 1 interview that has been released on YouTube, Naughty Donkey Network, Naughty Donkey Productions. Part 2 is coming later this week. Rob, thanks for joining us. No, we'll talk to you next time. Peace, everybody. Hey, y'all throw the bag straight.
Have a good week, man.
And on the sticky side.
Cause we all just wanna be cornhole stars saying keep hotels and driving beat up cars. The crowd gets crazy and the beers ain't cheap. We get drunk all day so we just don't eat. And we hang out at the local bar, throwing bags in the hole like we have it all.